Hello, Western Oregon sports fans, and welcome to this edition of Wolves Weekly. I'm your host, Danny Barnes, joined today by head men's basketball coach Brady Bergeson. How you doing today, Brady?
Very good. Thanks for having me, Danny.
Fantastic. You guys just went over to the Capital City Classic over at Willamette University in Salem, and we were able to get a couple wins over there. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that. Brings your record right now to 5-1. You guys have won 5 straight games on a little bit of a roll, but let's talk about a couple of these games. You had quite the comeback game against Corbin over there.
Yeah, we did. You know, we knew they were a good team coming in, and they shot it really well. They came out and ran their stuff really well, executed. They got some open shots early, and we were a little slow on our rotations. They got some confidence early. They ended up hitting 15 threes, and not all of them were uncontested. They really shot it well, and they had just enough of an inside-out attack, to keep us at bay. I think we didn't have the lead in that game until the last minute of the game, and it was a situation where we had a hard time getting things going. I give them a lot of credit, it was one of those situations where we could have folded, but our guys have a lot of character, like we've been saying, and there is an advantage of having some senior guards and some senior leadership, and those guys who really kind of, again, like we have a few times already in this short season so far, had to come from behind and push through and find a way to win at the end, which we did. I think we were down 7 with just over 5 minutes to play, and our defense finally tightened up and made some plays and got some rebounds, some key rebounds down the stretch to hold them to one shot. And that really, that and hitting a couple of shots gave us some confidence. We made some plays down the backstretch and took the lead with, I think, just under a minute left, and were able to hang on to it. Well,
I want to ask you the same thing. That was actually your 3rd straight game decided by 3 points or less. Mm-hmm. You guys have gone 3-0 in those games. Always a good note there. Do you like the opportunity for this early season? I know there's no such thing as preseason, but before conference, that you've had an opportunity to play these really tight games.
Yeah, I think it, you'd always want to win by a few more than 2 or 3, but it's a situation where you get out of it. You need those experiences down the stretch, and having those situational games where you can look back on it and your players have learned, this is what we want to do in this situation, this is what we want to do in that situation, this is how we'll play that, and they can start thinking one step ahead as the season unwinds. And we do expect to have a lot of close games in conference. This conference is very balanced, very tough, and so I do think those experiences will come back and help us in the future. I really do.
You guys carried that momentum that you had from the end of that game right into the Montana Tech game, where it's almost the exact opposite. You guys got down 2-0 in that game and never trailed again. Can you talk to me a little bit about the Montana Tech game, the championship of the Capital City Classic?
Yeah. We definitely we were a little sharper in that game from the get-go, I think, and our guys, our build-up to the game was a little bit better, and our guys responded really well. I think they were somewhat dissatisfied with the night before, not with the finish, obviously, but with the process, for the first 30 to 35 minutes of that game. And I think they wanted to prove again to themselves that that we're a real quality team. When we come out, we can jump on people too, and that's what we did. We came out really tough defensively, and we were flying around a little bit defensively. And they run some really good stuff. Again, a really well coached team in Montana Tech, and they gave us. It wasn't easy to put them away. It took the whole game, and they were right there with us. But our guys played very well. I was happy with the level of execution overall. Certainly, we've got some cleanup to do this week here in preparation. But we again, tough group. Found a way to get it done. Had some guys step up in some different situations that we hadn't seen before. Some individuals that really gave us a lift as well.
One of those individuals you're talking about right there is James Gearing. Mm-hmm. Came through, got all-tournament honors over there. 27 points and 14 rebounds in the 2 games combined, and really seemed to kind of break out, especially on the offensive end.
Yeah, James is he's back into the game. He was out for a couple of years, and I think part of it is that he, there's just getting into game shape and getting used to the speed of the game again. And I think there's been a little bit of a process for him. We know he's a really good player. He's a very good rebounder, and he's gotten it done in some more subtle ways. And he was able to just finish a little better around the rim and get some confidence. And you know, he got some putbacks. He got a couple of and ones down there, and just played really within himself. It was good to see him kind of have that breakout game that you're talking about. It really happy for him, and he really gave us a spark and a lift there.
And the one other gentleman we got to make sure we talk about, probably each week we seem to bring him up here, but Blair Whedon, tournament MVP, scored 30 points, 7 3-pointers in the between the two games. Pretty, as you talked about, a breakout player.
Yeah.
Pretty good to have a consistent guy out there too.
Yeah, you know, and Blair is that guy. He is consistent. That's the word. And the thing that you got to love about Blair is that he'll figure out in a given game what he needs to do to give your team the best chance to win. And it's not always scoring, and sometimes it's getting things done in any number of ways. And he's capable of beating opponents or helping to beat opponents in any number of ways. On the defensive side, his ability just to run the show and get us into our offense and enter the offense. He can be a facilitator, and of course he can also really score it when the need comes. So it's been great having his not only his leadership but his consistent play so far this year.
Well, fantastic. And you guys, we got to say, might need that on the road a little bit this week. We'll come back with the preview edition of Wolves Weekly a little later in the week, but with the opportunity to talk to you about your GNAC openers as you guys go over to Central Washington, then down to NNU. So, Brady, thank you very much for joining me in studio today, and thank you all for watching this edition of Wolves Weekly.